Let's do a little bit of processing on a photograph that's going to need a lot more than what we've been doing, because I'd like to show you how I use a really special program that I enjoy called Nikon's Capture NX2. It has a great feature, and I'm going to pull this photograph of the old grist mill that's there in Cades Cove and put it into Capture NX2 and bring it up in Capture. And I'm going to do a couple of really special things in this program. First of all, you can do most of the same things that you do in Photoshop or Lightroom in Capture. It has wonderful tools. This is your histogram in this side of the frame. If you simply grab the center slider and pull it to the right, you can deepen the overall exposure of the photograph, which I want to do. I think that's a lot better than it started. Now, having done that, I've darkened these trees and I've darkened these trees. And I actually like the color there, and I wish I hadn't lost them because I've darkened the overall photograph. Well, what's really cool about this program is we have U-point technology. I can put a little dot right on that green, and I can make the circle go out to where, and it will only affect the color green where I have the little dot. I can go into the brightness setting. There's sliders here. And I can pull that out until I pull just a little bit of color back into that corner. Now, if I want to do the same thing over here, I don't have to make another point. I can simply hit Command D, which is duplicate in this program, slide it over here, and as I move it around, I can see the effect it's having on the colors, and I just find a place where it's giving me about what I want on this side, and let it go, and that's it. That's done. That gives me the overall exposure, and it gives me the background color in this green that I wanted. Now, up in here, some of this area, of course it's snow, but it's still very bright. I'm going to try another U-point, and I'm going to put it on this snow, and I'm going to make the circle big enough, and I'm going to simply bring the brightness down up in this corner a little bit. Not too much. That was a hair high-handed, but that has improved it a little bit. It's darkened it down. I like that. Okay, now if I'm ready to take this photograph into any of the other programs to do anything, I can do that. I can also do all the same things over here. We have sliders for contrast, for highlights and protection, and for shadow protection, and for saturation. I can go and take the saturation slider and pull it over. In this case, I'm going to take it over to about 12 points. I'm finding that in most photographs I work on, anything much more than 12 points starts to put an unnatural amount of color in things. Some photographs that's not true, but for the most part that's kind of a rule of thumb that you can go by. As far as I'm concerned, I'm finished with this. I'll take it, I can sharpen it later because I don't know what I'm going to use it for now. So I'm just going to save it, and then I can go back and do some sharpening when I have a feel for what. In this particular program, you're given the option of leaving it as a NEF file, that's a Nikon electronic file, or a JPEG or a TIFF. Because we know what we're probably going to be using it for programs, I'm just going to put MIL, and then I'm going to put it on the desktop, save, full resolution, and it's done. It's on the desktop and it's ready to be used. Now, we were putting our photographs back in this folder. I'll slide it over there in a few minutes. But that was a photograph that needed some individual areas worked on as individual areas in terms of brightness and contrast. Now, I could have gone at any of those areas and also done not only exposure, but I could have done saturation, I could have done contrast in just that tone that we were working on. It's a really valuable tool when you want to do that kind of processing.